Yes.
Okay, great. So hello everyone, my name is Mathieu. So I'm a junior Ruby developer, like you can say, and I'm going to present you my solution to the tournament challenge. Yes, please, if you have any question or any comments, I'm really trying to get better at Ruby because I love it. So please feel free at the end to, if you think I can make my code better, I'll be really happy to hear your comments. Okay, so let's get into it. What are we trying to solve? So basically, the challenge provides us with this input, which is the result of a sport competition as a string. We can see we have each line has two team names and a result. We need to pass it to retrieve this nice table where you have this different statistics about the match played, won, drawn, lost, and points, and the teams are ranked. First, I would like to say Exercism says it's an easy challenge. I don't know if it's only me, but I found it quite tricky. It was quite a tricky challenge, but I think it's a lot of fun. So I encourage you to make it by your side later. They provide us with 11 tests to pass. And I tried to solve this challenge following the TDD principles. So very quickly for a reminder, TDD follows 3 steps. So basically you write your line of test, you run your test, and basically it's red because you didn't write, of course, any code. Then you try to make it pass as quick as possible. This is the second step. And finally, you refactor it following the solid principles and to make your code dry. So first test. If there is no input, we want to return only the headers that you can see here. So what I did very quickly, I created this tournament class, this class method tally, and I just returned these headers. Nice and easy, but of course it needs some refactoring. I thought that it would be the responsibility of a scoreboard to display these headers. So I created this class and an instance method display headers. And now in the tally method, I will just initialize a scoreboard and display headers. This is the first test. So now the second test, a win is 3 points and a loss is 0. So now we have this input, one line with 2 team names and the result, and they want us to retrieve this table. Same, very quickly, I just now have a conditional statement in the self-tally. So I say that if the input is just a new line, I will display the headers, and if not, I will display the final board. And I just copy-pasted the output in the display final board that I concatenate with my headers. So it's not very nice. There was a lot of refactoring to redo, and this is what I get after my refactoring. So we have now 3 classes. The first one is a tournament, so which we are interested in this self-tally, so this class method, which will be like my factory of tournaments. And when you initialize it with the inputs, it's not only one game. So we have 3 instance variables, which is for the moment an empty array of teams, a result. How do I create this result? You call straight the pass game method, and which is a private method. And what I'm doing here, I split the input in an array, splitting with the semicolons, and then I destructure it with these plat operators, saying that the two first elements will be team names and the last one will be a result. Then I map the team names, and with each of these names, I create a new team that I shuffle into the teams array. And finally, I return the results as a variable, which in this case, in this test, is win. So I had to create for that an object team, which is initialized with a name and take all the different statistics we need, with all initialized with 0, because when a team is initialized, it didn't play any game yet. Then I also initialized the tournament with a scoreboard, which will be now initialized with teams as well. So as you can see here in my scoreboard class, what I did, I still call the display final board, which concatenates the headers and the team result. So in the team results, I will just map inside the teams to display the correct elements. And you can see there was a lot of repeating here in the display header and display team result. So I found this format method. Basically, it takes 6 arguments, And it says that each is a string, and it will, the first one will have 31 characters long, and it will be justified. It's what the minus is doing, and all the 5 next one, it says it will be 2 characters long. And then I can just call this method on the headers and on the team result. I think, yes, I struggled a bit to find this method, but it was nice. I was happy with this one. So then when it's if we return to the tally class method, once it's initialized our tournament, I then call the process game instance method. So the first step in this method is to add the result to team statistics. So I created a case statement depending on the result. So if it's a win, then the first team wins the game and the team 1 loses the game, obviously. So it calls 2 instance methods inside of the team, which increment the correct statistic that we need. And finally, I display the final board in the process game. Okay, that was a lot of work here. I spent a lot of time, but it leads us to the third test, which is now a win can be also expressed as a loss. So basically, we just see we need to rank the teams here in the output. So I did a step in the process game method. I'm sorting them with these bands and then reversing depending on the team points. But I could refactor it, so creating this private method rank team that you can see at the bottom. Or I still do the sort by with a bang, but instead of reversing it, I do the minus, which will say it will be a descending order, and then I just call in process game my rank teams method on the teams. That was the third step. The first method, first test is already passing with the code we have. So we now are on the fifth one, which is a draw is 1 point each, because right now it is not doing anything. So I did a draw in the case statement saying that each team will calling the instance method ties game on each team and created this ties game in my team class. So now we have the sixth one. It was maybe with the second one, the most challenging one, where a lot of the magic is done. Here we have 2 main differences. The input now has 2 lines. And another thing that I had to spin my head around, sorry for that, is that the team names can be repeated. So I had to find a way to, if the teams already exist, then you will just find this team and increment their statistics, and if not, you create a new team. So it was quite challenging, this one. And for that, I created another class called game, which is initialized with team 1, team 2, and a result. And what I'm doing now in the tournament, instead of having a result, I have an instance variable of games, where I pass the games, which is a private method, and I will split the input with a new line, saying, okay, each of these elements will be a game. I do again the split of each game, and with the destructuring, I say that the 2 first elements will be team names, and the last one will be a result. Then I map these team names, and on each name, I pass team. What is this pass team method doing? It's another private method, and I have this variable team found, where I try to find with a name that I pass in argument the team matching in the array. If this found is nil, then I create a team, so this method that I shuffle into the array and return it. And if not, I just return the team found, which allows us to increment the statistics. Then I initialize the game name, returning in the past games with the 2 teams and the result. So once we have done that, so if we go back to the tally, we still call the process games. And another difference is that now we don't have only 1 game, but several. So we need to iterate through each game to add the result to team statistics. So yes, that was a lot of changes for this test, but it passes. So now it leads us to 7 tests, which also pass, the 8 as well, 9 as well, 10 as well. And we are now on the last 11th and last test. And basically, it's saying that the test ties broken alphabetically. So what we have 4 teams, and the 2 first one have the same number of points, and the 2 last one the same number of points as well. But they are telling us that we need to sort them alphabetically when they have the same number of points. So what I didn't know that, but with the sort by method, you can add another argument. So it was good. Now I know it, and I'm happy. You can say like you have a team name. So what it is doing, okay, first it will sort descending order by points and then by name if you have the same number of points. So yeah, now we have 11 runs, 11 assertions. So this challenge is solved. Thank you so much. If you have any thoughts, any questions, I'm very happy to exchange about the subject. And if you want to connect as well, I'll just put here my email and my LinkedIn. Thank you everyone for your attention. And here is my final code. Yes, if you have any question.
Thank you very much. That was spectacular.
Thank you.
I'm having there are lots of claps from people. I'm sure there are. I can't see any videos at the moment though. Does anyone have any questions or
any suggestion even, like if I could have done better, more efficient?
I will quickly say that I really enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to rewatching the video and like working through my own go at this. That was great. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Celia.